What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Clubit TV show, episode 6. We're back after a week being off. We take a week off and everything just like falls apart. We've got webcams, with microphones, and mirrors. It's fine. We're back, and everything is okay. I think. We're live streaming to Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter all at the same time. Don't forget to leave a comment down below if you just to say hi and talk to us. We're going to be covering multiple topics. We're going to be chatting about Red Dead Redemption 2, giving our review on it. We're going to be talking about the sequel, direct sequel to the 1968 Night of the Living Dead. We're going to be doing suggestions of the week and talking about the fan backlash at BlizzCon 2018, which some of you probably have heard about. Since you're watching, obviously, on the live stream, you also not only get the pre-show, which we've just had, which basically consists of us making sure everything's working, but you get the full show and the post-show. But if you ever miss a live stream, don't worry, because they get an edited version which gets released over onto Facebook and YouTube in about 2 days' time. The audio version also goes live on SoundCloud and on iTunes, which we're now up on there. So if you could head over to iTunes and leave a review, hopefully give 5 stars, that'd be amazing. But of course, I'm Roger Nolan, but I am not alone. I am joined by Luke from LukeandJamesPlay. How are we?
Alright, mate, alright, yeah, I'm alright, yeah. I'm a YouTuber, innit? I'm on the internet, mate, alright. How are you lot?
We've missed you.
My face is brilliant. Hi guys, hi chat. Great to be here. Yes, I'd like to accept this trophy. Yeah.
Shit.
I'm the greatest guy.
Moving swiftly on.
Right.
We've also got James from LukeandJamesPlay. Unfortunately, James hasn't got his webcam today. There's been a couple of problems. But you do have his wonderful little avatar.
You do, and you have my sexy voice.
You do as well. You do. To be honest, we could just let you talk and we'll be absolutely fine for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me, James.
Just leave it on the little emoticon.
And we're also joined for the first time by Gibraan. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I am, if y'all haven't heard, I'm a writer and also a streamer part-time. You can find me on www.twitch.tv, same as my name down below.
Hold on, I think we're on the full screen. Hold on. Right, do that again. There we go.
Oh, okay, so you can find me on my little link down there. It's twitch.tv/GibraanG.
Quick, pull him down. He's plugging. He's plugging his shit.
Oh no.
Cut him.
Keep going, Gibraan.
You're fine. Here. And thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to the show.
Thank you so much for joining me. Joining us. It's like I said, we've had a week off. Halloween's been and gone. A couple of weeks ago, we had our Halloween special. We did a little bit earlier because obviously we weren't going to be here for this last week. How are we all doing? We all okay? Have we survived Halloween and bonfire night? And
we have
barely.
Kinda. I'm a bit worse for wear as always.
But you sounded a little bit croaky, bud. Like
I'm a bit gruff.
Yeah.
This is my winter voice. This is just sort of like, you know.
I honestly thought for when you first came on the live stream and the chat, you were going to start Luke and James ASMR.
if
please don't.
The male audience out there want it.
Let us know down in the comments. So guys, Luke and James, what have you guys been up to this last couple of weeks since we last saw you?
Comic-Con happened, didn't it?
How'd it go?
That's the big main thing, really. We also did nothing else. It was literally been con, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's the big thing that we've had. Yeah, like that's been our biggest one.
How did it go? I saw the pictures go up on Twitter. I saw all your tables out.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. It was so much fun. It was absolutely incredible.
The one thing that always never ceases to surprise is shocking organization of the show.
The actual thing itself, yeah.
Yeah, but that still doesn't manage to put a downer on the whole thing. We get to see everybody, and it's a great time, and it's good for anyone who is of nerd persuasion.
I'm gonna have to. Is it May the next one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one in Birmingham. End of this month, I believe.
End of this month, yeah.
Are you guys be going to that one?
No.
Yes.
We're not going to Birmingham.
No, not to Birmingham. Sorry, I thought you meant the next one is.
Yeah.
I was thinking like you both. Listen, guys, when you're doing Luke
to
and James,
Birmingham,
one of you can't turn up because it'll just be like, don't work. I was like,
yeah.
You know, it'll be like the whole Ant and Dec situation of like.
Yeah, no, that can't happen, man.
I'll have to get Holly Willoughby with one of you to come and do the.
Well, I mean, can you?
Looks like
Roger,
maybe I can attend.
No,
you guys back.
he's back.
It's
We're okay.
Roger. It's Roger.
In the chat, like, there's Matt just put in like, yeah, we can hear you, but everybody else is gone.
Oh, the reverse happened for us. We could hear each other, but not you.
Oh, great. Well, we'll just carry on with the show as normal, like nothing actually happened.
Yep,
We'll edit that out of the full show when we release that on Facebook and YouTube. Are you still there, James? Are you okay?
I am.
Good.
I'm here, bro.
Right, so moving down to our first topic of the day. Hands up in the air who played Red Dead Redemption then?
Me.
No, yeah, sorry, James. James is like...
I can't put my hands up.
I can't see Jim's hand.
You need your little avatar just to do that and stuff like that. Me.
My one's got my hand up on my avatar, so you'll have to be me. You'll have to be my avatar.
So Luke, I know you went to the midnight launch. Is that correct?
We actually did not because now. Let me give you a little bit of backstory real quick. We were staying at Ed's over con weekend, and his flatmate Harry was the one who would be going to the midnight launch and purchasing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Before we decided to leave the flat because it was cold and raining, we mentioned to him that you can buy games digitally. And Harry wasn't too sure about that, so we talked him into it, and we was like, you can play it like literally a second past midnight. You got the game. So we didn't go to midnight launch, but he downloaded it at midnight, and we sat up till 3 a.m. and watched him play.
How long did it take him to download it? Because I pre-ordered digitally, and it took like 11 hours.
It took about an hour. It took him about an hour and 15 minutes, I believe.
No, it took about 2 hours 45 minutes. But they are in London with 380 meg. Yeah, he started downloading it at 9, and it.
Oh, was it 9? Okay, fair enough. I was probably asleep.
No wonder the stream's going down. My internet's crap. Jesus.
Yeah, so we got a very late night giggly preview it to the first 2 hours of the game, which is obviously up in the wilderness snow. So that was quite good. Good introduction to the game.
Isn't it 98 gigs for PlayStation and 108 for Xbox?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's right.
Yeah,
big game.
It took me I pre-ordered it because I went away last week to Wales, so I wanted to take my PlayStation with me, so I wanted to play when basically everybody else was asleep. I could just jump onto the PlayStation, but I didn't want to pre-order the physical version of it, and it like turn up after I'd left because I was leaving on the Friday, and the postman just turns up at random times. So I thought, well, if I can order the digital version, then I can get it preloaded and go from there. And I pre-ordered it on the Monday before, and it wasn't ready until like Wednesday night to go stopping and starting it to get it to download. So yeah, I would love to have your internet. That would be amazing. That would have sped everything up a lot better.
It would have been amazing, but.
Go on, Gibraan.
I just love the idea of having like a hard disk in my hand, especially when it's from one of my favorite franchises. Like
so go on, G. Go on.
Yeah, so my favorite franchise of all time is Assassin's Creed of a game series. So I haven't bought Odyssey yet because I'm not done with the Origins.
I've got it.
But I have like a metal hard case of Origins, and I'm gonna buy the collector's edition for Odyssey as well. For my favorite game, which was Brotherhood, I bought it twice on the PlayStation 3. One was the standard game when I finished it, and the second one I bought the collector's edition with the big box. Had like the codex pages in it and all of that. It was amazing.
I got the first one.
See, my moving over from physical to digital is since I moved in with my girlfriend, she doesn't like clutter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
women don't like that.
So I'm a bit like it's just for pure ease of life. I thought it one, obviously for convenience of going away on holiday, but two, I think I am pushing more toward digital because I just don't have the space. Like I've got 2 shelves here, and I'm a bit worried that they'll actually stay up. So I think it's the best thing to do is just stick with digital. But the 98 gig was horrendous to download. That was quite painful. But yeah, living down in London would be a lot more convenient if you're doing your digital buying. You played 2 hours. How much have you played in total so far?
What, me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I believe my my playtime was about 16 hours. Because I've actually only played it twice. Since,
wow, so you've done 2 8-hour stints then?
Yeah, because I bought it so that me and my girlfriend could play it, but we haven't actually had a chance yet. So I played the first bit with her when I had a day off when I was ill, and then was I ill? Anyway, and then I've played it twice since then. So I've got to the bit where you are sort of like, oh, off you go do your thing, and now I'm sort of just in the world, just being Arthur Moore, which is quite good. I know I'm taking my time with it because it's one of them games you just need to let yourself be absorbed.
Yeah, you got to take it all in.
Yeah, exactly.
So is it like a 15-hour introduction then?
No, I just didn't want to say exactly where I was in case people want to know.
Yeah,
don't want to know too much detail.
It's quite hard to actually say where you're about to are without actually giving things away. The actual tutorial area
is about 2 hours. I even skipped the cutscenes. It was still about 2 hours.
Oh.
So I've been through the tutorial 3 times.
I think in comparison to the first game, this one does introduce you to the gameplay mechanics a lot better than what the first one did. The first one it sort of got going, but then it was like you had to then rustle cattle and stuff, and it really slowed everything really down, like massively. And I remember going back to it about a month ago, and I went and then played about 2 or 3 hours of it, and that first 2 or 3 hours is so freaking boring. It's horrendous, and this one does it a lot better because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of backstory which has been told from where you're going from A to B. And the actual whole environment is absolutely amazing, which I know we've mentioned already, being gorgeous and taking it all in. James, I presume you've got it?
I have, yeah.
How many hours are you in so far?
About 7 or 8.
That's not. I was expecting for you to go longer, actually, because
I would have been had Black Ops not been out at the same time, sort of, because I'm playing both, and I'm more drawn towards Black Ops because I've put the Xbox downstairs that I can because it's just like a chill game. I want it to be like I can just sit down on the sofa and play, and because it's down there, I don't play it as often because obviously it's in the lounge. So, but yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed what I've played so far of it. It's incredible. The world is so living and breathing. It's insane. Yeah,
I got to admit that's probably one of the outstanding aspects of this game is that it does feel like a living, breathing world that you walk away from. There's a town near where we are at the moment with Valentine, and that town feels like it's an actual town. It doesn't feel like it's just NPCs walking around doing random stuff. Everybody feels like they've got a purpose and they're doing a job, and it's just the whole thing feels organic. Like I went into town and I've been playing I've probably done about 10 to 12 hours on and off. And I went back into Valentine, and a guy just got thrown out of the saloon doors and started getting beat upon by 2 guys in the mud. And I was like, shall I join in? Just start beating everyone else. But no, it was just like things like that which create this, like they've got a story. Something's happened. It's not involved me at all, but I've just seen like the end of it. And it's like those little bits of detail create a world in itself. I do think it's great. I do think it's a bit of a Marmite game, though. If you don't like the first one, you will not like this.
I don't know if that's I don't know if I agree with that statement.
Go ahead,
Roger.
Okay.
Just because this one is quite different. I think maybe you could say if you don't like, Wild West, spaghetti western, that sort of, you're not even into Wild West games, then yeah, this definitely is you. But they do a lot in this one more than what the first one did. The first one was just mostly just running and gunning, really.
My argument would be to say why what appeal to everybody is because I think it's a very slow game. This is not a game to play in 45 minutes.
No.
You're going to have to dedicate, I would say, a minimum of 2 hours per time of playing just to try and... Because obviously, unless you do the fast traveling, which has a massive load time when you're fast traveling,
and you don't have it out of the gate either.
Yeah, and it takes a long time going from A to B and doing all these missions, and some of these missions have multiple stages to them. it's something that you can't just quickly jump in, do, unless you're going to just go in and have a run and gun and have a mess about and play about and shoot everybody in town. Which is
just mess up your game.
You can do that, but to actually progress in the story, you are going to have to invest a considerable time on each stint. So for people who don't have as much time or can't dedicate it currently, I think they will struggle to actually find a connection with this game until they find a day when they can put, like I said, 2-3 hours into it. That's when they'll
see where you're
start to
coming from. That, yeah. Because the first bit is obviously there's quite a lot of quips to the first one, so.
Gibraan, so you said before we went live that you actually haven't got it, but have you got any questions about Red Dead Redemption?
I have seen so much of the game, but to me, I think it might be kind of overrated in a sense, because everywhere because some of my friends are crazy fans of the series, right? So they're like absolutely like losing their minds over Red Dead Redemption. So I pulled up the reviews on launch day. Everyone all across the board, it's 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, everywhere. So in my mind, because when I talk to people, they either love it or hate it. There's no one in the middle ground, sort of like, it's okay. It's not that, because GTA 5, for example, was the last game that Rockstar came up with. And it was a good game, undoubtedly. I enjoyed playing it. But its story, was it worth a 10 out of 10, though? Like, I didn't think so at all.
I never completed the story.
I played the story 3 times through. Because I just went from my data got corrupted twice, and I'm kind of a completionist when it comes to story games. I need to finish the main story. So I lost my data twice on the PlayStation 3, and then I played it again on the 3rd time and finished it all the way through. To me, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 story because I didn't get emotionally attached to any of the characters as such.
I can agree with that with GTA 5. I played the main story. I didn't complete it. I don't know how far I got through. I played it for hours. But I have to admit, the reason why I stopped is that I didn't connect with absolutely anybody. Like, I enjoyed the idea of switching, but each of the characters I didn't feel like they were my characters.
Yeah.
Which is one thing that Red Dead Redemption 2 does do well, is that it's implemented a lot of the similar mechanics that San Andreas had, where you can have your clothing. Obviously, I know the GTA 5 had that, but then you have your hair customization a little bit more. And it's all about and also about weight as well. And I haven't really got too far into that, but with your eating, can you get buff in it? Like start lifting dead deer and stuff like that. And
I
think you can get like fat and thin. That's the extent of it. Yeah. I don't think you can get hench though. Like, for more gains. Like,
but you can
I don't need a gun. I've got these guns.
No, for me, I would rate Witcher 3 as like a benchmark for one of the greatest games of all time, because I love the story, I love the choice system, I love the world. It was just beautiful all in all. So if you guys were to compare it to, let's say, Red Dead 2 with its side questing and with its because with Witcher 3, there was never the issue that open world games tend to suffer from is that there's so much travel that sometimes you're just riding a horse from one point to another to just complete a fetch quest, you know? And Witcher 3 never felt like that because the world was so amazing. Like, you get attacked by monsters and people and all of that. And it was a big map. So if I were to ask you all to scale Red Dead 2 to, let's say, Witcher 3, which I consider is one of the best games of all time, how does it add up? Because they're both 10 out of 10s according to like IGN and stuff.
I would agree with that.
So you mean like in comparison to like the world and everything like that, where you travel? Cause, like,
the whole package.
Like,
in terms of a gameplay experience and like an open world game.
To be honest, if you like The Witcher 3, you will like Red Dead Redemption. Yeah. In my honest opinion, because it's got the pacing is, again, steady like The Witcher 3 was. There was a lot going on, but it was quite evenly spread. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a little bit slower, maybe.
Yeah.
And there is obviously a lot of, like I said before, these encounters that you have, which seem very realistic for when you're traveling around the world. When you're riding from A to B, like I just come out of the camp, I was riding along, and this other rival gang jumped me, and it was a bit like, oh shit, I'm not prepared. And then I shot all them, looted them, and got spotted by a civilian who then went off to go, and it like comes up with the witness thing came up. I was like, crap. So I rode after him, shot him in the
time.
back. Oh, no, shot him. I'm like,
I was like,
I'm just like, bang. Then another guy on another spotted me. So he's a witness. I was like, fucking hell. And literally by about 10 minutes later, it was just like turned into a massacre. And I'm like, I need to reload this. But it's like moments like that which do create like these unique experiences.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start hog time people.
Yeah, the realism of the game makes me want to sort of be a good boy and like just sort of like and be like stick to rules. And I'm like riding around like morning.
Yeah,
morning.
I just walked through to Valentine's Day.
Just greeting everyone.
Hello, mister.
You can speak to every person. Yeah, morning, miss.
Like, and when you say hello and be polite to people, your actual meter for being good goes up.
Yeah, so you just got to walk around London greeting people, and you'll be going straight up to heaven.
Morning.
Morning.
No, but yeah, the whole aspect of that is really good.
Mathod says that The Last of Us is good. Yeah, Last of Us is the best story game for me of all time. Like, it's the best I've ever played, or I think will ever play, unless Last of Us 2 tops it.
I think I've got to be like with The Last of Us. That obviously that's very linear gameplay.
Yeah, exactly why I didn't compare it.
In the quality of that, though, I do think Red Dead Redemption does have the quality of story. Like I said, it's just very, very slow. It's just it's a lot slower.
At the moment, it is. I think.
You know,
I don't know whether it's going to change as you get further in.
You know, they always say that you never complain about the pacing of an open world game because you could just blaze from point to point and point to point and get the story going, you know? Open world games can never be really said that, oh, you know, the pacing of the story here is bad because it's up to you, really.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Sidetracked and all
does,
of that.
Obviously, there is always the situation where it does try and sidetrack you as much as possible. Like, you have... You finish your main quest and you've got then you shoot a legendary animal and you put it on the back of your horse and the woman's then like needs help and she's like, can you drive me to the local town?
Yeah.
And you go, I've just got a legendary item. No, like you're gonna have to walk in town. Sorry.
See, I rode her the whole way there.
I did.
And then I followed her for a bit. Yeah, and I was like, oh, is she gonna be okay? I hope she's okay.
I already missed.
She was all like, yeah, morning.
But yeah, so
Roger, sorry. Just to touch on the legendary skin. So that's the bear you're talking about, right? Yeah. So then I went and made his hat out of him, right? So I'm walking around with this legendary bear head on, and everyone's like, "Hey, you're looking kind of crazy." Everyone's like mocking the way I look. I thought I look badass, and they're all going, "Hey, you're one of them weird fellers, ain't you?" I'm like, "Mate, I killed this bear."
I heard the games has like a thing where you have to take a shower and you know. Keep yourself groomed or people won't talk to you.
Then, to be fair, if you did walk around with a bear head on, people would be a bit like...
Out of curiosity, though, like, where... I don't think I've actually had to wash in the game. Because I'm a bit struggling where to go. I can have a shave.
Mate, you get to go to the bath. Like, there's a hotel.
Yeah, you can get a woman to wash you.
Yeah, and she's like, do you need some assistance? And you're like, well, yeah.
Yes.
Morning.
Yes, I do.
And then you're like,
tell her what body parts to wash and stuff.
You're like, scrub my right arm, scrub my left arm, scrub my leg.
But she always touches your genitals, no matter what arm you ask her, like what arm or leg. She always goes to
there's an option for no small talk. So she's like, well, you're one of the nicer boys I've seen. And he's like, no small talk. He's like, shut up.
Oh my God.
Just scrub me, woman.
My guy must stink.
Yeah.
I just thought having a shave was enough, and I'm going, where do I go to have a wash? And there's a tub next to where my bed is, and I keep walking up to it going, why am I not washing?
Yeah.
Just like, so I kind of like at one point I just sort of like half walk on it and going, this'll do.
You can splash your face with like troughs or whatever, like the barrels of water around.
Yeah.
That doesn't really full effect.
I'm gonna have to go on after this and wash my guy because I'm getting a bit worried now. Walking to
people
bar, just
like you because you're dirty, basically.
Arthur Crazy Eyes Morgan. That's Richard.
So that was our review of Red Dead Redemption 2, covering all the way to chatting to NPCs, getting washed by a woman, and telling her that there's no small talk, apparently. So let us know down in the comments. Are you playing Red Dead Redemption 2 right now? How are you finding it? Is it as good as you were hoping it to be? Because games like this get massive hype before they get released. And obviously a lot of the outlets have done 10 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, personally. For me, a 10 out of 10 has to launch with no bugs. And I've lost 2 of my guns to bugs. I bought them. I upgraded them. I got shot. My horse got killed. I retrieved my saddle, bought a new horse. I got a basic horse. And one of my guns was there, and the other two that I had have gone.
Oh.
So that was a bit...
You sure that's a bug and just not how the game works, or?
I hope not.
Yeah, because I heard that people were disappointed that the game was like not buggy at all, you know? Like they were like really impressed by how good the game was, how polished it was.
Did you see the video of the horses bursting into flames?
No.
Oh, the people like have been like, you can become friends with your horse, basically look after them, and they can start getting special abilities by rearing up or do sharp turns and all this sort of thing. Well, people have been like getting the horses to pristine and being amazing, and then just like apparently just like dropping dead and then bursting into flames.
Oh, no.
And it's just like the horse is then gone. It's really weird, really weird. And then other horses have walked over it. They've then died and burst into flames. It's just like a continuous horrible situation. But then the other one as well is it's on a really unbelievably weird scale. The other one where you see the camp where Arthur Morgan's walking around, and then all the NPCs and him suddenly lay down and start spinning on the spot and rotating. I was like,
that's amazing.
That's quite cool. I like that. So yeah, let us know down in the comments what you think to Red Dead Redemption 2, and would you give it a 10 out of 10? Personally, I'd probably give it a 9.5, maybe a little bit above.
I haven't finished it, so I can't really pass judge.
Oh no, I'm going on what I've experienced so far.
Yeah.
What I've experienced so far. I might come back in and depends how long it takes me to complete 6 months time, and then say yes, it was a 10 out of 10.
I give it a solid 5 out of 10. Might buy.
You're not allowed.
You don't have it.
You can't.
Yeah, exactly. 5 out of 10. Might buy.
Might buy.
Might buy. There you go.
Why would you
Might buy, my guy?
My guy
Because
buy.
it's not on PC yet.
Yeah, true.
And my PS4's HDMI is not working right now, so...
So that means your PS4 doesn't work.
No, my PS4 is fine. The wall output is gone.
Don't be pointing at me. I only point at you. Stop that.
So, stepping away from the video games just for a moment, we're going to be stepping into film news. I have some notes here. Let me bring them up.
What's this film you speak of?
A film. It's a 1968 film, to be precise.
Jesus.
I know. We're a bit late on this news.
This is a bit old, mate. The fake news.
We're gonna review it finally. No.
Okay. Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead is getting an official sequel from the original filmmakers.
Wow.
Here is an article from comicbook.com. And
Lay
it
on
says, filmmaker George A. Romero continued the mythology he established in 1968's Night of the Living Dead with Dawn of the Dead in 1978. The film explored the aftermath of the dead coming back to life and society's response to the unlikable threat. But Living Dead Media confirmed a direct sequel to the original film will be debuting next year, adapted from a script created by the original film's producers and writers. So this is quite an interesting one because oh my god, I looked up that, I was like, back to the news. So yeah, obviously a bit of an interesting one. I'm quite a big zombie fan. I love my George A. Romero films. And obviously seeing this pop up is quite unusual, especially if there's a script which had already been written back in the 1960s for being a direct sequel to the original. Now, have you guys seen the original Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah,
I've seen
a
some
long time ago.
one.
Sorry, say again, James?
I've seen some of it, not all of it.
It's not dated well, admittedly. Like, obviously, we're a lot more exposed to like The Walking Dead and Fear of the Walking Dead and like grotesque zombies is probably the best way to put it. Whereas obviously back then they were very limited on what they could do. It was done on a very low budget, and basically it was like flour on the face with a little bit of dark eyeliner, and that was classed as a zombie. But it launched the zombie genre as we know it today, and was extremely put on a pedestal for being one of the influences of horror genres as well, of how it was filmed, and especially some of the controversies with it as well, because it sort of explored racism as well within the actual film at the end. If you do you guys know the ending of the Night of the Living Dead? Do you remember it?
No.
So basically, I've forgotten the name, so you're gonna have to apologize that I don't know the names of the characters anymore. But it primarily follows a woman with a brother at the beginning. Her brother gets killed, and then she escapes from a zombie and finds this house.
Yeah.
And she then she kind of crumbles apart, basically. And then there's other survivors who are at the house who sort of take care of her, and they try and barricade themselves from the living dead. And one of the guys that are looking after her is a black guy who is there, and he protects her and looks after her, and he becomes the hero of the film. And basically kills the zombies and looks after her. And I can't remember the full ins and outs how it pans out, but then there's
his name is Ben, isn't it?
Maybe. It's been a long time since I've seen it. And then some rednecks turn up at the end of the film and shoot all the zombies. And they've held up overnight. They managed to get all the way through the night. And I believe he then stands up and they shoot him. Pretty much, you know. And that sort of points out to the point that they didn't care. And they were like a bit, oh well, and they threw him on the pile of zombies. And it was like at the time in 1968, this was kind of a bit like people felt.
Yeah, so
they were very conflicted of how obviously they felt and society it was at the time. And obviously these days it's extremely shocking because we're like, what, you know, this is something you don't do.
They would lose their minds.
Yeah. So it still holds as being an extremely shocking scene in its own. But with this coming out of being a sequel directly to it, it would be interesting to see what happens and if they're going to actually carry on the characters from the first film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does the woman survive? I can't remember.
I believe she does. I believe.
Yeah. So I guess they'll follow out. Are they? Like, is it going to be them like literally trying to escape from the house? Then like.
Well, I would like to see that. I would like it to be because there's been no information on the script or the story. But I would like to see it actually being it is a direct sequel to that film rather than being like Dawn of the Dead, where it follows a totally different group.
I think what's very good is the fact that the script was written very closely to that one. So it's not like 30 years on they're trying to capture that writer's style and vision. It's already been done, so they haven't got to try and capture
but they're gonna
remake it.
See, I agree with what you're saying, but I also have like a big no-no towards that because of two reasons. One, the original director is not there. He passed away. So the way the first movie felt, it's clearly not going to feel the same because they don't have the same director. And second,
R.I.P. George.
Scripts can get outdated very quickly. If they have jokes in the movie, if they have certain settings in the movie, certain issues they're tackling, it's very easily because the movie's like what, half a decade old almost.
Wouldn't it be great to see like them doing it with like, you know, a modernized version of that script, and then like they film it all again, but like with what it was going to be, and then it'd be like really strange, outdated sayings like I don't know, like you know what I mean.
I think I've got to agree with that. I imagine that they're going to have to change some aspects of the script to try and bring it up to date. I do hope they film it in black and white, and I don't really like.
So they dab.
It's like got him.
The zombies just like this.
It's where you see the guy on the second floor jumps out the window, does a 360 shot, and gets him in the head and goes,
no scope.
He needs some milk.
He needs milk.
I think they should do it black and white. Do it in the similar style of filming, and I don't think they need to go grotesque with the zombies either. Just kind of make it very clear that they are zombies and.
Well, the black and white is just to make it so it doesn't look so like that dude's got flour on his face. Like, I think that's what that was for.
Because back then, color film was still very expensive, very new.
Yeah, but when you're making a horror film, it's hard. Like anything you do kind of looks just tacky, doesn't it? There's a certain way to do. Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. The movie, no matter how trend-setting it was, zombies as a trope is so oversaturated now. Like these days when I watch zombie movies, they make me laugh more than they make me, get afraid because they feel tacky. They feel like, hey, we don't have any ideas. Let's make a horror movie about zombies. Like What was that? There was this one that happened with Tom Cruise. Was it Tom Cruise? No.
What
was
zombies?
it Brad Pitt?
World War Z. That
Brad
was
Pitt.
the one.
Oh, Brad Pitt, yeah.
Brad Pitt, that's me. So that movie, I went to watch it. It was all right. And I feel like that's what Night of the Living Dead is going to suffer with.
Yeah, I see. I didn't mind World War Z. I can see where you're coming from, though. It's like the trope of it. But the one area that I did enjoy about World War Z was that, which I think, unfortunately, like The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead seems to do it quite a bit. Well, they've done it. Is that they skip over the infection point where it's just the breakout. Now, I think that's the most interesting aspect of a zombie story, is society trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And quite a lot of them just jump over it. And World War Z did focus quite a bit on it.
Yeah, I like the idea of trying to find patient zero. I love that. But the execution was all right.
But the fact that he can get on like a plane and fly from fucking one country to another country during an apocalypse.
Yeah.
But it's not stated as an apocalypse. It's stated as an outbreak. So usually with all these zombie movies that tend to happen is that they skip large periods of time. They're like 70, 80 years since the zombie outbreak has happened, and like travel means the collapse and all of that. So World War Z takes place, I think, in the first 10, 15 years of the outbreak. So it's very much that the governments are still trying to hold on, you know? Because the collapse won't happen immediately. It'll take time with anything. So I really like that aspect of it, but I am worried that the sequel, because I saw the trailer, I couldn't make it through half of it for the first movie, because I'm like, oh, this is a zombie movie, you know?
Yeah, I can agree with that. It is an overdone trope, and that's why I kind of looking forward to the style of this one, and hopefully it'll capture a little bit of what the original had. And because if you manage to capture at least the atmosphere, a little bit of the original, combine that with like the filming and the atmosphere of like the series that you mentioned, Luke, the other week, the House of the Haunting Hill, or whatever it's called. We kept changing the name all the way through the live stream. But in like a black and white, old school, I think it could actually make a little bit of tension again and make it feel a little bit creepy again.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
Yeah, maybe because it's not been seen that much anymore. Who knows?
So let us know. That was our film section anyway. We like to drop in a film occasionally here and there. Let us know down in the comments. Did you watch the original 1968 Night of the Living Dead? Have you seen it? Are you looking forward to a direct sequel to that story and seeing what happens with? I believe it. Yeah, she actually survived, and see what actually happened to her. The original story with her though was not. She literally fell apart. She's actually quite annoying. If I remember, in the remake of Night of the Living Dead, which was released in the late 80s, I believe, they made her character a lot more badass. So it would be interesting to see what direction they go with her character. Matt Hurt says, no, I'm not seeing Night of the Living Dead. Check it out, or at least, like, if you can get... I believe they did a colour version on Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Did they?
Yeah, they did a colour version of it, so it's worth having a little look and seeing what you think to it. You might have to skip a load, because there'll be aspects of it which you will find boring these days. And
I suggest people watch Dawn of the Dead, man. Dawn of the Dead's my favourite one.
So Matt Hurt says he has a bad feeling that they're going to mess up the sequel. I think so too. I don't think it's going to go great. But, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, especially if you got an original script. If you got an original script from
you can give it a try.
Original creators, then, and the original team is working on it as well. Obviously, some of them are going to be very old now, but obviously they've hired a few people since then. So that'll be interesting to see what they go with.
Geriatric.
Mentioning films as well. So we've got some interesting things coming up in coming weeks. Basically, we're constantly adapting here with Clubit and the live stream when there's no technical issues, obviously. Basically, I'm being very vague here, but there's something that maybe we might be associating a little bit. It's like, if you like your video games, if you like your movies, and you like your football fantasy football, should I say, style of apps and things like that on your mobile, there may be something coming up which we'll be talking about in the very, very near future. I'm being as vague as possible. And hopefully, as a week's going, we'll be able to talk about it a little bit more. I still need to talk to these guys about it as well, and inform them a little bit more about it. So keep your eye on that for the live stream. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and on our Twitter pages to keep an eye out for that information that's going to be coming up. I'm being a bit vague right now, but hopefully
You've tantalised my ears, Roger.
Tingling. So hopefully we'll be able to tell you a little bit more as more information comes around. But like I say, if you like your football fantasy, if you like your movies, if you like your mobile games and your apps and things like that, watch this space. Anyway, guys, next segment of the live stream. Dun dun dun.
Next segment.
We're going to do suggestions of the week. We're going to split up a little bit. You do suggestions of the week at the end of the live stream. We need to try and pick the pace up a little bit actually because the live stream going on for some time now. So we've all got suggestions of the week. By the way, James, I think you were sorting out your webcam when we were arranging this.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing Diablo on the Switch, by the way, for your suggestion.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, is that okay?
Ooh.
Yeah, dude.
So you talk about that because that will then lead into the last topic. But first up, Gibraan, what's your suggestion of the week?
Right. So I don't know if many of you guys know it because it's really popular for the people who are in the anime sphere, but for people who are out of it, they don't really know about this. The show is called Steins Gate. It's spelled STEINS space gate, like GATE. So the show is about this self-proclaimed scientist, right? He rents a room in this rickety old building and he indulges himself in inventing future gadgets with his fellow lab members who aren't really as smart as him, right? So one day he was tinkering with a microwave and he comes up with this thing called a phone microwave. Where it does this strange function where it turns bananas into green gel. But that's not all it does, right? They eventually figure out that this microwave can send emails to the past.
What the fuck?
And because
Sounds
of that,
awesome.
what tends to happen is that it changes the flow of history. So and the only person who remembers it is the mad scientist, the one who sends the message. So he's the only one who notices the changes that are happening. Mm-hmm. And it's 24 episodes. It's really short, but the way they do it, it's executed beautifully. Now you might think this is a comedy, but it's really not. It's a drama, kind of like a drama comedy. So if you watch it, check it out. It's amazing. It's rated like 9.5 out of 10 across the board.
All right.
And most people in the anime community call it one of the greatest masterpieces ever made of anime. It takes 3 episodes to pick up. Crunchyroll, it's on Crunchyroll. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix, but yeah, it's probably on Crunchyroll and Voodoo and all of those, anime
I've got
websites.
Crunchyroll, so that's...
Yeah, you should have it on Crunchyroll.
Sounds weird.
Yeah, it's called
it sounds weird. That actually it's got me really intrigued because I really want to see like how he gets to the stage with the microwave.
No. And the thing is, normally the issue that I tend to have with shows which handle time travel is that there's loopholes. There's always some loophole which comes across
glaring loophole.
Yeah. What Steins Gate has done, and I've had this conversation with my brother who we watched the show around the same time, right? Is that there was nothing that we could find that made us go like, well, this is ruined.
Really?
It is so beautifully executed that we couldn't find a flaw in the time aspect of it.
That's cool.
The continuum made perfect sense. Mm-hmm. It fell all into place. Even the ending was beautiful. Now, there is a sequel which has come out for it. It's called Steins Gate Zero. Sequel I haven't seen yet. Because I'm still processing the older show, and I've seen it like years ago. And the sequel is an alternate ending. So at the ending of the show, he's faced with a decision. He chooses one decision over the other. Now, the decision that is chosen is the one that's shown as the ending of the show. The second decision is this second series. So it's an alternate dimension where what
is there a game of this? Is this a game as well?
Weirdly, it's based off a visual novel, which you can get on Steam. Which is the original. And then they made an anime out of it and adapted it into that.
Right.
That sounds awesome.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
That sounds really cool. I'm definitely going to have looked that one up. A lot of people have been putting in the chat, Go Anime, Kick-Ass Anime, will have it as well.
Right, excellent.
I know. I'm going to check that out. Yeah, that sounds cool. Actually, I'm going to come back to that, and next week I'll come back and maybe in the post show of next week I'll have a little chat about it and see what I thought. Like, 'cause that does sound really. That's very up my street. I like.
Yeah, you
weird
like
shit like that. Sounds awesome.
Because when it started, I was like, "What is this?" You know.
I was say when you were explaining it, I was really like, "Where is he going with it?" Like,
yeah, but then it picks up. It takes a few episodes to pick up. I just read you all the anime list description of it because I don't want to give out any spoilers.
That's the thing as well. When you're trying to suggest somebody,
yeah,
it's hard to suggest it and then not give away too much. Yeah. Well, Gibraan, thank you very much for that one. So that's
nice one,
Steins Gate, and then the sequel's called
Steins Gate Zero.
Steins Gate Zero.
It's not a sequel; it's an alternate ending.
Alternate version. Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Cool. Next up, Luke. Your suggestion of the week.
So my suggestion of the week is an app for your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like Pogo or Pokemon Go, but they are far too alive for you, then you have Ghostbusters World, which is recently released, and it's basically the same fecking thing, but you catch ghosts.
Whoa!
Whoa! And
Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters! The problem is, it plays that song over and over and over and over and over and over the whole time the app's open, and you just sing it constantly. Yeah, there's a few little differences. It's like, you collect your ghosts, and then you have to go to the ghost dimension, and you get to like fight other ghosts with your ghost.
Oh.
That's all in the game. There's like a story mode. You power up your proton pack and your mace on bloody blaster thing, whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. Mason Collider or something. It shoots boson darts or some shit. I can't remember. Ghosts, man. Ghosts. But yeah, that I've been playing that. It's a nice little distraction from Pogo, because Pogo you have to walk around. I'm lazy and fat. So this one, you can stay still, and the ghosts just spawn near you.
Oh, right, so you don't actually have to move around to go collect them.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, right, it warns you at the beginning. It goes, do not drive or walk whilst playing this app.
Don't walk.
You're supposed to walk, right? To get... So, I don't know.
So
yeah, it's cool. If you like
Pokemon Go is for people who want to get fit, and the Ghostbusters World is if you don't give a shit.
Ghostbusters is for people that are at work and bored, and they can do, like, a little bit of... Yeah, it's cool. It's
or you want to get unhealthy and die and become a ghost yourself.
Yeah, boy, that's what I'm looking for.
End
Jim
goal,
with
you're
the
getting a
metaphor
trophy for that one. An achievement. Well, thank you very much. Ghostbusters World. Is that
Give it a go.
Is that on iPhone as well?
Yeah, it's on all the, it's all the rectangular devices with screens.
Rectangular device.
So it's on PC then.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you very
Shut
much,
up,
Luke.
Gibraan.
I'm going to go third. So my suggestion of the week is it's probably one that you've probably all seen, but it's an animated series on Netflix called Final Space. I only recently discovered it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Keeps like if you like Rick and Morty, you're probably going to like Final Space. It's not as offensive.
I hate you, Kevin.
Jim loves Final Space.
It's not as offensive as Rick and Morty. That's one thing.
What's it about?
Oh, man.
I've never heard of this.
Have you not heard it?
Dude, it's amazing.
I will read you the synopsis. In the midst of working off a prison sentence, an astronaut named Gary meets a mysterious planet-destroying alien mooncake with whom he immediately bonds. But Gary doesn't realize that this is his new sidekick is actually in demand by the sinister Lord Commander, who will do all he can to secure Mooncake's untapped evil powers. This animated intergalactic comedy follows Gary and Mooncake's adventure to unlock the mystery of Final Space, where the universe ends. It's funny. It really is. I found it highly entertaining to watch. It's not overly long. It's about 12 episodes. And like I say, it follows
Super
Gary
easy.
just being an absolute douche in space and living on I think he's been living for about how many years was it now? 5-year sentence or something like that on his ship. So, James, have you seen this one?
I have. I love Kevin, the cookie-eating robot.
Oh, Kevin's great. Yes, there is a robot that's called Kevin who teases Gary all the time.
What are all the little drone men called?
Oh, there's one called Steve. There's these robots which sort of
Steve.
maintain the.
I don't think they're called Steve.
Steve! That's the
just-
monkey
I
from
know
They're
it's
all
called
like-
one of them Steve because it's written on its forehead, Steve across the forehead. Or
Is
something.
it Steve?
I know there's one of them called.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
one of
must
them is.
be.
And then there's
So-
the fridge that he's named as well. He's had apparently
yeah,
like
that's
deep
his
conversations
girlfriend.
with a. Yeah.
So
He's a-
Matt Hurt says Big Bang Theory and Game of Thrones combined? Question mark?
Who's
Question mark?
Hank? Is
it?
that the
What? Final Space? Is that what you're saying?
Big
Yeah,
Bang Theory and Game of
Oh,
Thrones
okay.
combined.
Yeah. What do you guys? Maybe. That's fine.
Maybe.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
say
think it's that
but-
caliber of.
For one, it's animated.
Yes. It's got. I'm trying to think of something that's related to Game of Thrones. It has chairs in it.
It has females.
Yes.
Excellent.
And that's.
Chairs and females. Great, sold.
But no, it's really good fun. You'll
Commission season
burn through. I don't know if is it commissioned season 2.
It has been, yeah.
So I didn't know the
Sick.
Lord Commander was actually voiced by David Tennant.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Commander of the Night's
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's a common thing.
My son noticed that.
North
Now
of the
my
Wall.
watch has ended.
Very good fun. You'll literally like Gibraan, if you watch it, if you get into it, you'll literally burn through it.
Lord
With your
Commander.
Netflix binging, you'll probably get through it in one night. So
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So that was my suggestion of the week. Over to you, James.
Sick. Right, yeah, so Diablo 3. Now I know, guys, I know against the current controversy of Diablo, you might start spearing me and sending anthrax through my door, but please hold from doing that, okay?
I'll just write his address down
I'm
in the chat.
talking
It's when someone
Diablo.
pushing it into envelope and then they lick it and they go, oh shit.
Yeah, don't lick it. Don't lick it. Anthrax in it. Yeah, it's Diablo 3 on the Switch, and I feel this is how Diablo 3 should always have been. It is as a transportable game and as a portable game, it's goddamn incredible. You can literally slam the Switch down on a desk lightly because you'll break it, and pull the Joy-Cons out, and you can play with you put your friends straight away on the same screen. It is amazing. And they can use their character as well.
How is it adaptable to the singular side controls then? Like, because you haven't got a lot of buttons in comparison to like, I'm comparing to like PlayStation 4, you haven't got like the R2
Yeah.
and L2.
So like you obviously got the two budge buttons on the top, and then you've got the directional buttons and stuff like that. It does work really well.
Well, there you go, Roger. It does
And
work.
it's
does
just
work.
amazing. It's a dungeon crawler that you can pick up, loot for an hour, and put down again. And on a Switch, it just works so well. It looks so good. It plays really well. It's the whole collection, so you get the Necromancer as well included in it. You get all the challenge rifts and stuff like that. You get the new areas. I know it's 50 quid for an old game, but 100% dudes pick it up.
I
It's
mean,
amazing.
people
It's
are
really
still
good.
buying Skyrim for $60.
Uh-huh.
So
That's mad, isn't it?
why not go for this? And you get the
Yeah, dude, it's amazing.
collection
Honestly,
back.
it's so worth the buy.
I do love my isometric RPG, so I love Diablo, and I think it almost makes sense for it to be on the Nintendo Switch. It just makes sense now with how everything's going.
Yeah.
Is it going to be crossplay?
Dude, it just works so well. No,
There's
I
no
don't think
crossplay.
it is.
There's no cross.
That'd be good. That'd be good if they did introduce that at some point. That just
But it's got local co-op, it's got online co-op, and it's got like same Switch co-op as well. So
how does the frame rate hold up, and is it all okay?
really well. Yeah, yeah, like really
might have to look for
nicely.
a
I've
deal
not
for
played
that.
it in docked mode yet. I've only played it in handheld. Very rarely play my Switch docked, but I've only played it handheld, and I'm so impressed with it.
Don't the issues with the Switch normally come in handheld and not docked? Like, would
Normally,
it not have a problem in docked?
But
So
I
if
haven't
it's-
had any issues.
Yeah, if it's holding without an issue in handheld, I'm sure it'll look great. in
Yeah.
docked.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I got
But
to
yeah,
admit, it's one of them games where, like I say, it fits the style of the Switch really, really well because obviously you've got the instantly 2-player.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
It's great, and just being able to play it on the go is just amazing.
Mhm.
It's incredible. So good.
If you haven't got a Nintendo Switch yet and you're going to go on a holiday, buy one because when I was in Wales last week, my girlfriend's daughter was there and her cousins were there, and they hadn't seen each other for like 10 years or something like that.
Whoa.
8 years. So they were a bit shy with each other, and they didn't really you know how kids can be when they first meet each other on first day. I literally handed over the Nintendo Switch, went play Mario Kart. and left them. Like an hour later, they were having great fun, and then they basically came over onto my PlayStation where I was playing Red Dead Redemption and was like, "Can we play Overcooked?" Like, fuck. Like, no.
No, that breaks relationships.
Yeah.
Overcooked destroys relationships.
But yeah, so definitely get yourself a Nintendo Switch.
Me and Jim got a divorce over Overcooked.
Yeah.
Have you played the second one? What's Overcooked 2 like?
No, because it's so damaging to your relationship.
There we go, guys. So that was our suggestions of the week, where we suggest multiple things, whether it's video games, movies, apps, books, anything along those, which basically
Ghostbusters as well.
think you Ghostbusters as well,
Terms and conditions apply.
where you might find interesting and you might not have discovered yet. So if you do, come back to us next week as well and let us know what you thought to our suggestions. Right, quickly over to the final topic of the day: fan backlash at BlizzCon. Which obviously leads on from what James was just talking about with
Entitled facts, that's what they are.
Exactly.
Titled little millennial facts.
Let me have a little read here. So, this is from, pardon you, Eurogamer.
Wasn't me, mate. Wasn't me.
Written by Wesley Yin Pool.
Wesley.
Blizzard is facing unprecedented backlash after it's ended its BlizzCon opening ceremony with the announcement of a Diablo mobile game. Diablo Immortal is a brand new Diablo game set in the Diablo universe and exclusive to mobiles. It's developed by Blizzard in partnership with the Chinese video game company NetEase. Backlash kicked off on social media and websites such as Reddit as soon as the announcement was made, with universal criticism of the game and Blizzard from those who were watching online. So yeah, I don't know if you probably heard about this on line of got multiple video games websites where they actually did a Q&A with some of the developers after the announcement and the conference.
So painful.
A guy got up and basically said, "Is this a belated April Fool's joke?"
What a hero.
So, fucking hell. Yeah, they've had a lot of backlash. So, you guys, have you seen the announcement? Do you see the footage of the guy saying this? And what are your guys' opinions on this situation?
Don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, don't you have phones? I don't
no.
get where they're coming from, to be honest. I think it's a great idea. Like Jim was saying, Diablo Portable is great. So, like, now, anyone, it's going to be, I guess, free to play or whatever. So, everyone can try it. And then, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I agree with you completely, because I was so everyone
they were
knows that
expecting something
PUBG is everyone knows that PUBG is dying straight up. Like on PC, its numbers are as low as it's ever been, but on mobile, it's the most popular game on the market for iPhone, for Android. Fortnite mobile is working out. And those aren't battle royales, aren't games where you'd be like, right, I can play it on my phone. Diablo seems like a no-brainer, really, for a portable setting. And I think the issue that the people at the conference and everyone had is that there were rumors spreading around before BlizzCon that Diablo 4 was going to be announced.
Yeah.
And that sort of like fueled into these people.
So,
It reminds me of recently Siege did this thing, right? Where this last week, they announced that they were creating a global version of the game. So that meant that they were removing gambling and they were adding like masks and making it more friendly towards laws in China, so that they could sell the game there and have like a global version where they wouldn't have to run 2 separate editions, which would cause problems.
Mm-hmm. Just interesting, looking at the chat, actually, Spammels has actually just said what I was thinking and about to say. He said down in the comment, think of what you like about Diablo being on phone or not. The point is they overhyped the wrong game to the wrong audience. BlizzCon are a PC-based audience. There was expected Diablo 4, and instead they got a dubbed-down phone game, a game that is already being exposed as a reskin of a Diablo clone.
Yeah, but
I think when it comes down to it, like Spaniel said, how they didn't predict a backlash like this from a company like Blizzard, who, like I said, primarily put out games to PC, and the hype was there. They knew the hype was people looking forward to Diablo 4, and they pitched the wrong game to the wrong audience and
at the wrong time as well.
Yeah, if maybe
that I agree with.
Like compare it to. okay, let's compare it to Bethesda. Okay, and they last E3 they did the conference and they talked about mobile games. They talked about like Fallout 76 was kind of a bit of a test for them, and they announced it and talked about it. They did not know really how the audience was going to take it. Fallout, people love Fallout, but it's not in the style that people like.
Yeah,
they released it, they talked about it, and at the end they then did Skyrim, Elder Scrolls,
the new
yeah.
You know, that was perfect.
Yeah, but now people are doing a shit over Blades because it's a mobile Skyrim.
Yeah, but that I want that.
Yeah, but you know what they basically did was they did testing in the Bethesda thing, right? They announced Fallout 76, which was like, you know, it's not the typical Fallout experience. They announced another Skyrim remaster again. So they didn't have a big conference, big announcement as such. Aside
well, they announced the latest Elder Scrolls, like the newest one as well.
The way they did that. So let's say we were back at BlizzCon and they had a chance to do it all over again, right? If they put in a teaser at the end there,
just showed the logo,
just to show Diablo 4,
yeah,
and then cut the conference, this would have been a whole nother story.
Because you're then telling your audience that we are making it.
Yes,
we are doing it. This is basically here. Have a little bit of a treat. Have a little tick-tack.
Yeah, this is filler. Yeah,
this is what you're going to look for, and that's what basically Bethesda did. Look at what we're doing now. Yeah. We know what you're really wanting. It's coming. Here you go. Here's a logo. That's all we need to do. Because people then will go, "Oh, I can't wait to play that."
Yeah.
But while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to play this.
Yeah, I agree.
Spammers just said it was reported Diablo 4 was supposed to be announced at the very end. Nothing special, just the head guy speaking and a logo. However, for some reason, it was pulled at the last moment.
Yeah, but that's probably because of the reaction to the...
And no, then Bethesda... so Blizzard refuted all the statements for this. They said it wasn't legit. Like, what he's saying was wrong. But like Spams was talking to us yesterday, he said that it's a source, and it's a very reliable source. Like, he's never missed before as such. So I feel like it was supposed to happen, but they weren't confident in it.
Yeah, so if the developer doesn't officially announce it and then some guy spreads a rumor that might actually be true, then their game's officially announced. So they don't want it to... If they accept that that was going to happen, they've officially accepted that they're working on the game.
And they're not ready to announce it yet.
And they're probably not ready... Exactly. So they want to do it on the stage to get the big boom and the hype and all that.
BlizzCon, obviously, is their event. Which event do they wait for now? If it's not ready now to announce, do we wait till like with this happening, this problem, like obviously shit.
E3.
It's got to be E3, isn't it?
E3 is quite a way away now, and so they're going to let
It'll be May, wouldn't it?
Bake
Is it May?
until then. Like you basically pissed off a large majority of your fan base, and then they're going to go wait till E3 to announce it.
But they kind of like simmer it out with the new Overwatch hero and the big Pro League announcement and all of that. So I feel like they're going to take the gamble. Because Ubisoft has this problem where their stuff gets leaked all the time. It happens with Siege, it happened with Odyssey, it happened with Black Flag. And the way they ended up doing it was, okay, the leak went out. Everyone knew that a week later there was going to be a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, they did it for the new operation that's coming up, Wind Bastion. They did it for Siege, and they did it with Odyssey as well, where it leaked that there were going to be 2 main characters, and you could pick between the 2. A week later, they put out like a minute teaser that...
I'm sure they do that on purpose, bro. I'm sure they go like, right, we need to like extend the chat about this game that's coming up. Gary, release the trailer. Do something. And he's like in the background, no problem.
It's like we're going to let Tom Holland tweet stuff.
I feel like, yeah.
It's like, oh, did he? Oh, he did that. Oh god,
he's so naughty.
Yeah.
James, you've been actually a little bit quiet on this topic. Sorry. When we haven't got you on webcam, right. I struggled to see. I had to work out what you got something to say. What's your opinions on this?
I mean,
Jim's playing COD.
I guess it's just. I want to say they're wrong, but clearly they're not, because it was almost the entire room that was that disappointed. So maybe, Spams maybe does have a point in the fact that maybe they should have just teased Diablo or something like that. But then again, I'm just like, well, they're only dropping because their expectation wasn't met.
Yeah, exactly.
But as a company like Blizzard, who you think would know their audience, they can't. Like I personally thought they would have predicted it. Well, yeah, companies do get it wrong, But I thought this would have been quite an expected thing, really.
Yeah.
If the hype was already, they knew what the hype was. We all knew what, like, I'm not a massive follower of Blizzard, but I thought they were going to announce Diablo 4. So I had one ear to the ground trying to.
But then
wait
we
for it.
don't. The thing is, I also thinking about is we don't know why they didn't announce Diablo 4. Was there a sudden problem at the very end that they can't talk about at the moment for legal reasons or for whatever else? Or, you know, has something happened where they've had to quickly pull it back and they're like, you know, we could undo this now, but we literally can't.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
And also, I feel like modern day gamers are so entitled. Like, they feel like, because they're shelling out more money than ever with DLCs and games, so they're always expecting their expectations to be met. The biggest example is...
Sorry, go on, Gibraan.
The biggest example that I saw was Spider-Man PS4. There was an outrage about the removal of one puddle. And people were freaking out about it. And turns out it was just the dynamic weather system, which was different lighting. That's about it. You know, so gamers these days get outraged so easily.
Yeah.
I feel like in my head, it's not a bad idea. I think Blizzard Mobile sounds good. I might actually install it because I've never played Diablo before.
It could also be a PR thing.
Yeah, I think also as well, like recently everyone was going on about the crunch time in game studios and stuff like that, especially with Red Dead. People were very outraged at how the employees were working 100-hour weeks and stuff like that. Well, this tends to be why, because if they announce it, then they start the clock. Because if they don't get it out soon enough, people get fed up and they start getting fed up because they're waiting too long. And then there's this whole, well, it just keeps getting delayed and then the hype dies down and then it ruins it. However,
go on.
Like, so if that game is not ready yet and they know they're like 2, 3, 4 years off of it, they're not going to announce it too early because otherwise they're then going to be rushed and then it turns into this crunch time. If we don't know it and they haven't announced it, they've got all the time in the world to allow their employees to work in a relaxed and nice environment to get that game to where we want it to be without them working their hands to the back.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to leave it on. Actually, I think that's really good way of wrapping it up, of like showing respect to the developers and letting them take the time on the game. I got to
either way.
Go on.
I said that it was really disrespectful for an entire room to boo because yes, you might not like that game, but there are still people that have poured their hearts and souls into that game. Whether it's a reskin or not, people are still working very hard on that game. That's their passion.
I was going to say, with that guy getting up and asking the developers, like, is this an April Fool's joke? Those developers are not the deciding people who make the games. They're there to work on the game, what they're told to work on.
It's like, how would you feel if you were to make something, get up on a thing, and have that many people boo you? Like, I know that person on stage personally didn't make it, but all those people that have worked hard and were probably like, we're really excited to show off what you've made, and everyone's like, boo, you know?
People worked hard on it, and I think that's a really good point to leave it on, actually. I think you've really hit the nail on the head. So let us know down in the comments, guys, what have you thought about the situation at BlizzCon, of what's happened. A lot of you have been chatting actually about it. Well, I'm sure we'll have a little chat about it in the post show after the main show. Let us know what you think. Were you looking forward to Diablo 4? Have you played Diablo 3? Are you looking for the new one to come out? Let us know your thoughts on the whole situation, which seems to have happened this last week. Down in the comments. So that wraps us up for all the topics.
Wraps it Congratulations.
Wraps it up.
Well done, G-Man. You made it through.
Don't forget, guys, you can enter our competition if you head over to our Facebook page, like, share, and comment on the actual live stream, which is live right now. We're going to choose a winner on Fridays, and so we'll announce it on our social media channels then. So we're going to leave it out for a few days for you to be able to enter. So share it. Also, the other thing as well is we got Gibraan today, and he's been amazing, dude. You're absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for being part of the show. If there's anybody else that you want to see on the show, tweet at them. Let us know. Like basically say, listen, we'd love to see you on the show. I want to see this person, blah. Tweet at them, let us know that we're here, and push us out there a little bit.
I'll give an example. Hey, at Cher Lloyd, I really enjoyed you on the X Factor. Come on, club it.
Yeah, let's get Cher Lloyd.
I have another example. Hey, at Ninja, if you want to come on the Club It show.
Yeah, bring your friend Drake.
We've been talking, you know.
What are you on about? Ninja over Cher Lloyd. What are you on about?
Hey,
crazy.
at Dr. Disrespect.
No,
You know?
Shelloid. It's the only one. It's the
I
only
don't
possible
even know who
David Attenborough.
Shelloid is.
No, yeah, David Attenborough. We should have him on there.
You know what? Actually, that would be amazing because I just
How
listened to
Today.
good would that be?
I just been sat there
Hey,
like
at-
talk.
I was going to say Bruce Forsyth, but unfortunately he passed. So we
Hey,
can't.
at LeBron James, maybe.
LeBron James.
Gibraan James.
Do you know who I? Right. Okay. Let's do this. Right. So, who would you? If you could choose one person to be on the show, it could be anyone to have a guest on the show. Who would it be?
Am I also part of the show? Do I get to watch the show?
No. You can. You are part of the show, but you would have them on the show with us. So, for example, I'm not on the show, and you have them replacing me. Who?
Why
would
don't you
have?
answer that in the post show?
Ooh, that'd be a really good
Ooh.
topic for the.
All right. Let's
show.
answer it in the post show. Yeah. Okay.
Leave your suggestion down in the comments. Actually, that'd be a really, really good topic. Gibraan, been amazing, bud.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
having me.
So where can we check you out? Where can we follow your stuff?
If you guys want to check me out, I'm Gibraan G almost everywhere aside from my Instagram. It's www.twitch.tv/GibraanG. Instagram is Lord Pun Maniac. I still have to change that handle. Most of my writing work, which is very free flowy, artistic-y stuff, not gaming related or anything of the sort, it's very emotional in the sense. You can check that out on my Instagram. Everything else is gaming, memes, all of that. Twitter's right there. You can see that and yada yada yada. Thank you for having me. It's been an
It's
absolute
been awesome, bud.
fun
Seriously,
time.
I've really enjoyed it.
From time to time, Crime Watch too.
Luke and James, always a pleasure. What are you two up to this next week then before we see you next week?
Oh baby! Well, we've got some videos coming out this week, which should be really good because we've kind of taken a different turn in what we're doing with our videos.
Okay.
So that should be quite good. Also, we've got some cool stuff being recorded this Sunday. So we've got something with Wizards of the Coast coming up. So that's going to be really neat. We're going to have fun doing that, aren't we, Luke?
Mm-hmm. And also, there was something else I wanted to say. This Saturday I might be going to a Yu-Gi-Oh! tournament, so I might be vlogging that possibly. So watch
cool.
this space.
I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! For ages.
Yeah, so that could be a thing. Me and Temps, we're gonna go together.
Cool. Next week, we're going to have a themed show next week. We're going to have a Pokemon themed show with Pokemon Let's
Sick.
Go, Eevee, and Pikachu coming out on that Friday after the show. And we're going to have Isla on with us as well. So it's going to be Pokemon through and through, all the way through the show.
Yeah, baby.
I'm looking forward to
Awesome.
that. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm sure the debate which was going to happen is going to be either Eevee or Pikachu.
Perfect.
Decide who Pikachu.
It has to be Pikachu. Just because it's Pikachu.
Just
Perfect.
because.
Yeah.
Don't forget, guys, you can follow us. We live stream to Facebook, Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, and Twitter all at the same time. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook and Twitter, where we'll be hopefully announcing a few new things that'll be happening in the coming weeks. Like I said, we're going to be doing the post show in the next few minutes, and we're going to be talking about some of our, what's the best way to describe it? Our choices that if we could choose anybody in the world to have on the live stream with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to roll off though, boys. So
Looks like not. But thank you very much, and we will see you all next week at Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thank you very much.
know it.
Play some music.
Please.
Plays out.
Bye.
I love you.
Bye.